chickens just had some snacks. They got warm water from the house because otherwise it would freeze too quickly. And all of them except somebody who's laying an egg right now are here. Together, 10 chickens at least. 10 I think. Number 11 is in the coop. Quite a bit of water flooded into the run yesterday when there was a thaw, briefly for one day. And then last night all that water froze. Here we all are on one of the most brutal days so far this winter. Everything is a big mess because all the chicken poop and goose poop gets frozen stuck, and it will stay where it is until spring. It's not just that it's super windy today, but last night we had freezing rain and there was so much ice buildup in front of the door here and in front of the gate to this yard, to the fenced yard, that I couldn't open the doors, and I had to chip at the ice until there was enough room to open the doors just a little bit. And now it only go open this far. When I left the door open while I went to get food and water and things, a whole flock of doves came and just flew around in the run, and other little wild birds. They do sometimes, there are not as many, but now when I came in, some of them couldn't find a way out because the door isn't wide open. So I decided just to keep it shut, and for the first time this winter, all my chickies are penned in the run the whole day, but they don't mind. They can keep each other warm here, they get snacks and water all day. And the geese get their water and their food outside, and they can use Emma's shelter, the dog shelter, from the wind. This is the worst winter any of them have known. The past few winters when we had these birds have been so mild. And there was always water in the stream, and there wasn't much snow cover for most of the winter. So for all of them, I think this comes as a bit of a shock. So this is just to prevent the wild birds from assembling in the run and eating all the chicken food. And the wild birds get fed plentiful out here. And here we are in the afternoon. The wind has died down just for a little bit. This will still pick up again tonight and tomorrow. All the snacks and treats have been eaten, but they still have some regular chicken feed and millet left, and it will be time for bed very soon. So I think they're okay. I'm just going to refill their water bowls again. Somehow one got knocked over, maybe when they jumped up on the roost. Here on the ground, all of this is various kinds of stretch food and feed that was spilled. So they have tons of food here. It's only for one day, or maybe 1 or 2 days. They'll have you penned in here, shut in. They don't really seem to mind. We're now into the 3rd day of this deep freeze, and once again I'm keeping the chickens in the run, or rather keeping the wild birds out of the run. And it's treat time right now. It's snack time. Most of the millet I gave them this morning is gone. It's been eaten. So I'm giving them some more millet. They're definitely a favorite There is still some chicken feed here and oyster shell. There's a lot of scratch feed on the ground. So here I have some greens, some parsley, lettuce. Yes, a lot of blueberries because they need some special treats when it's so cold and so boring for them and they cannot go out foraging. And here are some scraps of meat. So guess which of those treats they like best. Let's see. Okay, here you see them going for the meat, which is just boiled pork. Actually, some of them prefer the berries. Shell is eating a piece of cilantro or parsley. One thing to remember about chickens is that they are carnivores. Actually, they're omnivores, but they're definitely not vegetarians. If you feed hens a vegetarian diet, that is in no way natural. And I don't know what that will do for the eggs. My two red sexlings, Peach and Caramel with the blue saddle there. They are very small in size, yet they continuously lay huge eggs. Even all through winter on the coldest days, usually they lay eggs. And I feel bad about that. I did not really know this about sexlings, red sexlings, when I got them as pullets. They are kind of scrawny and their feather covering is a little bit more fragile than the thick feathers on Wyandottes. It's thinner and more easily ripped by the rooster's claws. And so I really like to give the red sexlings meaty treats, which they love more than any of the other chickens, although all of the chickens love meat. Red sexlings will always be starving, I feel, because they have been bred to lay so many eggs. They are short-lived, and during their entire lives they are foraging like crazy and always desperate for treats. So you're welcome to it. Here's Blossom, who is part red sexling and part Wyandotte. So Blossom has the thicker feather coat of the Wyandottes, and also the rosy comb of the Wyandottes. And as you can see, red sexlings have, I don't know what the word for this is, they have those combs that are more easily get frostbitten. They're now going for the blueberries. Definitely a favorite, a fruit favorite with my chickens. And eventually they will also eat all the parsley and cilantro. And the other chickens are biding their time, or they're just less hungry. And the other, her sister, Blossom's sister, must be laying an egg right now. Hunky, I will bring you guys fresh water in a minute. I'm gonna put you some clean water too. Saving some of the meaty scraps for Arlo and whoever else is not here. Our guardian dog, Emma, usually gets meat for her dinner rather than dog food. She gets meat that is just usually boiled pork or other meat. Here is Arlo. Hi Arlo, I have something for you. Just a second. So I usually have some boiled pork or beef on hand. Now let Arlo have some. Peach, Caramel, let Arlo have some. She hasn't had any. Here. All right. Okay, here they go. I'm going to try and feed some to the ones that are hiding under here. And then there's another treat I give my chickens occasionally on very cold, harsh weather days, and that is eggs. Their own eggs. It's probably a controversial thing to do, and know that I am not a farmer, so I don't really see this from a farmer's perspective. They are my pets, and they happen to lay eggs, which we do happen to eat. They've just had so many treats that I will save that for later, but I will show you how much they like eggs. And do not think that that is cannibalism. Eggs are not baby chicks. Eggs are the food for baby chicks. The baby chicks grow from a little cell, just like human fetuses, and while they grow, the egg is what they feed on. And it's probably one of the healthiest snacks you can give your chickens. It's just their own eggs, raw. It's a little bit of a mess in here, but I'm gonna toss this. I'm gonna fluff the bedding before they go back to sleep tonight. Here are 3 eggs, I think, today. I'm going to get them from the other side. The light one is definitely a Wyandotte egg, and the other ones are from either the red sexlings or one of the younger red sexling Wyandotte crosses. Here's Shell. What are you doing, Shell? So, in spite of loving eggs and having often tasted their own eggs, they still don't pack on their own eggs. They don't break their own eggs. I cannot guarantee that. No chicken will do that, but ours do not. And I don't give them to them here. Obviously, I take them out and then they get them. So maybe they don't realize these are their own eggs, but I do think they do know that, because sometimes they're waiting while I gather the eggs, waiting to see if they will get one. You just have to see this. You should all share that, honeys. I also save the eggshells of eggs that we eat. I wash them, bake them, grind them, and then I feed them to the chickens for calcium. Although this is oyster shell. But when I give them a whole egg, eventually they also eat that shell, just like that. They pack it all up. I don't know how this will sound because it's so windy, and I don't have a separate microphone with my phone. Just a note on the goose food. Here's just a bowl of regular chicken feed that they sometimes eat. There's some grit, little pieces of granite, and then there's a mixture of millet and brown rice. And then here on the ground is black oil sunflower seed, and cracked corn and oats, just a kind of plain poultry scratch, which they can eat. Don't know if they do, but... And then they got Timothy hay, at least when there's no other greens available for them when they cannot forage. I give them some Timothy hay once or twice a day, but right now it's so windy. It's gonna blow away unless I put it in the water. And when I put it in the water, they cannot bathe well, so I just give them Timothy hay at night in the run. This morning I stuffed a little bit in between the bowls. I'll get a little bit more. Guess you can have some more hay. And I almost forgot, geese, just like the chickens, or maybe even more so, are a big fan of mealworms. So when they cannot forage, I usually sprinkle some mealworms over their millet and rice. They love that. Omnivores. Yes. Timothy hay is a bit finer and greener than the hay that I use for bedding. Cracked corn and oats and black oil, sunflower seeds. And there's a chickadee. As soon as I'm gone, there'll be dozens of wild birds here. Cardinals, chickadees, juncos, blue jays, sometimes even woodpeckers. Tufted titmice, there's a tufted titmouse on the wheelbarrow. Our state bird, chickadee, the black-capped chickadee. That little bowl is actually for the wild birds to drink from. The chickens are all retired under the coop, except for Arda, who is actually still laying an egg. This is nap time. It's about noon. Soon the geese will go and nap in Emma's shelter because it's windy, or maybe in front of the gate. The gate will block the wind.